From the News Talk STL studios in St. Louis, it's the Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter. On tonight's episode, State Rep Jamie Gragg, Lieutenant Governor Dave Wasinger, and the Right Mind Studio Band, Mitch Murphy and the Murphy Tones. Now putting the fun in your dysfunctional world, here's your host, Todd Showalter.
You know what? I'm just getting a little miffed about all this self-serve stuff. It's like everything is self-serve, self-checkout. I go to my bank. Okay, my bank now that everything's online. Okay, it's online banking, online this, whatever. I need to actually speak with someone. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out some different things of what to do with two accounts. So I want to go in and talk to someone. So I go into my bank location to speak to someone. There's only like one person there because they want you to do everything online. And you know what she tells me?
There'll be a service charge for that.
Now, basically, she says, if the only way we can take care of that is if you do it online. I don't want to do it online. I want to come in and talk to somebody. Oh, we don't have anyone here that you can talk to. I go, aren't you a real person? Can I talk to you? I'm sorry. Whatever you need to do, you have to do that online. Everything is self-service now. What is going to happen to all the people? What's going to happen to all the workers? Where are they going to go? It's going to just be mayhem. Their dogs are going to be living with the cats. It's going to be crazy.
Mm-hmm. I was just up at Bank of America up the street, and the ATM was broken.
Oh, get
And
out.
there was a guy who had the ATM opened up, and he had a big truck with tools in it, and he was scratching his head, and I said, he probably works there. He probably knows what he's doing.
I hope so.
I should have just sat there behind him, see if dollar bills start flying out. Like, oh, no, my
case.
heist is not going right.
Well, that's even like last weekend. You and I, along with our lovely ladies, decided to go over to the horse
Hello,
track.
ladies. I know you're listening.
Yeah, baby. We got over to the racetrack, the Fairmont racetrack, because all the chicks, they dig the horses and racing and stuff like that. At least we thought so. Anyway, it was also very hot. But what happened there, my friend? Everything is becoming self-serve. They changed the place. They want you to place your bets with some little machine. Do you order your food through your phone? Tell the story. Were you a little confused as I was? Everything. The next thing you know, the horses are just going to be automated. And even the casino that they had there, no real people worked there. It was like Dave and Buster's with all these AI video games. Can you tell I'm a little worked up?
Yeah, once a year we like to go to the horse track out in Fairmont. I think it's sponsored by FanDuel now, and it's all sports betting as well. But we wanted to try out the new restaurant. Usually we're all hoity-toity, and we eat at Top of the Turf so we can look down on the plebes. Top of the Turf is closed right now, but they opened up a new barbecue joint in a tent. Yeah. I guess that they have no hopes of that actually lasting.
We were camping.
But when you walk into the barbecue joint, there is a hostess stand with no hostess there and no signage telling you when she's going to be back.
It's like the bank.
But everyone was already sitting at the table, so I said, all right, I guess I seat myself. Yes, that was exactly what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to seat yourself. Maybe a sign would have helped that.
And you did.
And then I sat there for another 5 minutes waiting for a waitress to come over. No.
Right.
You had to look at the QR code that was on the other side of the 2-foot-tall menu.
Yes.
And the QR code said, scan this, and then that'll take you to a menu that you can order.
Right.
And I was thinking, well, how do they know where I'm sitting? Well, 10 minutes later, our food came out to that exact spot. What if the QR codes were switched? Or what if I ordered it while I was in the toilet? Would they bring me it there? I don't know.
Exactly.
Science.
That's exactly the same thought that I had. By the way, the food was actually pretty good.
Not too bad.
I was kind of impressed with that. Now, I don't know if that was all self-serve made or what, but you're right. Everything that we had to do, there was no service. Everything was supposed to, and even when we went up to place our bets, it was like a big deal to try to find, at least it was for me, because, I always talk to the person in gibberish. But, they want you to use these machines just to place your bet. So what did I do? I'm not supposed to tell it, but I'm going to tell it. Because we had no service the entire time, I kept my cup. I kept my plastic cup that my water came in, didn't I?
Well, when we ordered at this restaurant, which is a terrible name, I don't think they're confident in it because of the tent, but also they named it Long Shots.
Long Shots.
That sounds like, the food probably won't be pretty good.
Yeah,
so let's
right.
name it something to keep expectations low. It's like St. Louis naming their hockey team the Blues, and they didn't win for 52 years.
Oh, right.
So we order our food, and in the app itself, which is your phone, you order water. And then she comes out and like, oh, man, the drink system's all messed up. Like, well, why don't you just default to water so I don't just starve Because I can't eat my sandwich until I have a drink next to me.
Exactly.
It's getting cold because I don't have a drinky poo next to me.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's why we stole a cup.
We stole a cup, and it's right next to my
toothbrush cup.
Now,
yep.
Speaking of water and all that, guess what? My urination schedule has been depleted by half. With all this heat that we're having, okay, it just dehydrates you, okay? As you know, and I've been checked out many times. I don't have a prostate or a bladder problem, but I do have, I'm a very efficient peer, okay? And I usually go all the time, okay? But with this heat and this humidity and everything, it dehydrates you so much that I maybe only pee now maybe once or twice a day.
They say piss like a racehorse,
Yes,
but that doesn't count anymore.
No.
Remember when we went to the horse track? They changed the time. They bumped it up by 2 hours,
Right.
so the horses wouldn't be as hot.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, oh my goodness, they're going to be so quick. They don't have any pee left in them, probably.
Well, we know what to do because we're flummoxed. But ChatGPT asked me what I did. I told you what I did. I decided because the horse race was put back because they were worried that the horses were going to pass out, even though they were self-serve checkout horses. I went on ChatGPT to find out who was going to win, and we actually won 33% of the time by ChatGPT's picks.
You won 2 out of 7 times, so ChatGPT is pretty good, I would say. You can trust it 100% of the time, 33% of the time.
Wait a minute. ChatGPT, that's all self-serve too, so you're not actually even talking to a person. So I was talking to a self-serve computer that was helping me with all the self-serve stuff at the Fairmont racetrack, and then I went to the bank to talk about this case that I didn't make, and I had to go to a self-serve bank. What are they going to do with all the people that are gone? All the workers, they're just going to be sitting around.
Do you know, I have a theory that AI doesn't exist. It's like that Theranos lady that said, oh, if we take a little bit of blood, we can tell if you've got AIDS and cancers and if you've got colon problems. I think AI is literally just 1 million people in India answering these questions in real time. So they're just going to move all of us people who are out of work to India to answer the questions about who's going to win in race 3. And then someone's like, he did the math. That's the name of one of the horses we bet on.
Name the and chewing gum sticking to the rail. We had that one too. Yeah, it was quite something. And then where did we had ice cream at T's. Was that what it was called? Was it TT's or T's or what was that called? We didn't actually get the ice cream because you were taking Google photos the entire time, which I didn't know that you did. For the people that are, I just spit all over the board. For the people that are listening, okay, you, my friend, my bestest buddy, are like a Google photographer, and I had no idea that because you take so many Google photos that they send you free socks that you can wear on your feet. I didn't know Google did that.
During COVID, I wanted to improve my ability to get a job. So what I did was I learned more of the programs that are included with Adobe, because I have Adobe Photoshop, and I've gotten pretty good at Photoshop. So I wanted to learn more about Lightroom, which is the photographer's app that people use. And so I decided to get better at Lightroom, I'm going to just take as many photos as I can of different businesses and post them on Google. And then it's a little win if it becomes the featured photo.
Sure.
You know, every time that you look up a business, one photo represents that business. Those are just user-generated. So my little ego got stroked real hard every time I became the official photo.
You can't say that according to Joe.
For example, if you go and look up the AMC Esquire Theater over there off Clayton, you'll see my photo. And I actually used to put a watermark on all of them of my name so I could be really cool. I don't really do that anymore.
Sure,
but you can see my name right on that photo.
That's amazing.
It's got 9 million views, and because I got into the millions and billions of views, Google sent me some socks. I sold them off on eBay for $40. So I am making money at this job.
And I had no idea that if you put now Google, it's a multi-billion gazillion-dollar company. Okay, so I mean they have more money than you or I do. Okay, but I didn't realize that if you do all of Google's work for them, their photography work and everything, that they can use for their billions of viewers. And I spit all over the board again. The billions of users worldwide. That for all that effort that you put into it, they will give somebody like you a pair of socks. I'm surprised that Google can afford a pair of socks to give away.
I think they've got their ChatGPT AI people in India also working on the socks. They're answering the AI questions, and also they have beautiful stitching on these socks.
Beautiful stitching.
That stitching is so tight. It has to be like 7-year-olds that are making these socks. They're really beautiful.
Can I do my Indian accent the rest of the show?
Dave Wasinger and Jamie Gragg are big-time guests, and I think that would be offensive a little bit to them.
Okay. Yeah, I guess you're right. Hey, yeah, speaking of big-time guests, old Jeff, Dr. Evil, whatever. No, that's Bill Gates. But Jeff Bezos, the Amazon guy, you mentioned it off the air. What did he do? He purchased the entire city of Venice for his wedding. Now, is this like Venice, like Italy, or Venice, Rhode Island? What's this all about?
I don't know if this is a bad sign for his wedding, but I'm pretty sure that entire city is going underwater.
Yes, it is.
So it's just like, yeah, let's just rent out Venice, and everything flooded. Even the bookstores, I don't know how they stay in business because they flood regularly.
Yeah, and so he's having a. What makes you do that? Why not just Ethan here? Okay, Ethan at the station that's begging us to come on the show today.
Ethan, the sales guy.
Ethan, he apparently, the reason he didn't get to come to see the horses and all the self-service stuff is because he's looking for a venue for his daughter to have her wedding reception. Maybe we should mention to Ethan that the city of Venice, they're available for wedding venues. Do you think he'd bite at the chance?
Ethan, the sales guy, blew us off. We actually planned this entire horse race visit around his schedule. We had canceled it before so he could come out. And then the day before, midnight, he texts us and he said, my daughter needs to go look at a wedding venue.
Yeah.
So we have asked him, did she pick it? And he said no. And I was like, well, you're dead to us now, and this friendship is canceled.
You're right.
Because you didn't want to hang out with us, and you went to a wedding venue visit that you didn't even pick.
Uh-huh.
I think he's going to end up in Herman, where they have all the wineries and stuff.
Herman and wineries, like the German place? You want me to do a German accent the rest of the show?
You can do that, yeah.
Oh, look what that is.
Oh, that Herman. I thought it was more like, la, la, la. Does anybody want a Tootsie Roll?
Oh, I tell you what, we already talked about that, but that was really a tearjerker, that second half of the
Greenpeace is actually protesting Jeff Bezos renting out all of Venice, and they have.
Who is Greenpeace?
Greenpeace, I think they are an environmental group, and they're mad at him for not paying taxes. So they printed off this billboard that's the size of a house, and they have it laid out right there in the big square in Venice, and it's got a goofy-looking picture of Jeff Bezos or a regular-looking picture of Jeff Bezos.
Same thing.
And it says if you can rent out Venice, then you can pay your taxes.
What do you mean he doesn't pay any
taxes? I don't know.
Taxes?
He's making jobs, right? He is actually paying people to rent out Venice. So somebody's getting some money. But me, I would just go to Vegas and go to the Venetian Hotel parking lot and get married there.
You don't even have to go in. Have you ever been to the Venetian at Vegas? Do you like Vegas? I think we're kind of moving into a different topic here, but do you like Vegas?
Never been. Watched Ocean's 11.
Yeah, okay, that's close enough.
Can't wait to go.
Seriously, in the time it takes to watch Ocean's 11 is probably, about an hour and a half, 2 hours. That's really the only amount of time that you have to actually spend in Vegas. It's one of those places that, okay, it's here and I can go home. It's kind of like Six Flags type of thing. You do it and then it's like, okay, I don't have to do this for another 5 or 10 years or maybe ever in my life. It's kind of that kind of thing. I don't understand these people that just go to Vegas all the time. Are they compulsive gamblers? Do they like Celine Dion? I have no idea, but I don't understand it. Do you get it?
It sounds like they're people who are attracted to Christmas lights. Like, what is it, your uncle or something who's got the Christmas lights in his yard all year round?
No, that's my cousin.
Yeah, your cousin with the trains. He probably loves Vegas, and he's like, let's bring a little bit of Vegas here. I'm going to put all the Christmas lights in my yard and charge money for people to come look at it.
I don't think he charges anything.
He accepts donations, wink, wink.
You know what? I think if we accept donations, do we take donations for this show?
Of course.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I was just making sure. Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, no, that's not quite the same thing. But going back to my point, as far as Vegas goes, 2 hours, 2 minutes, that's about all it takes.
I think flights on Frontier Airlines are about $12 to go to Vegas.
Yeah.
You can just get off the plane or not, to look out the window and be like, all right, let's turn this puppy around.
Yeah, right.
And don't even walk through the streets where they throw these pornographic cards at you nonstop.
They slap their wrist and everything, and it's like, what are these things? And I didn't know what they were doing.
Gentlemen's Club, come on,
and
you
like,
want it?
Put that away. I mean, that's crazy, I tell you. I just don't get it. All that I did walk, I can't tell this story. Hey, in the meantime, I'm Todd Showalter along with my bestest buddy, Joey V. This is The Right Mind Show. We'll be right back.
Coming up next on The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter, live from District 140, Representative Jamie Gragg. Welcome back to The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter on News Talk STL. And now a man who likes his microphones like he likes his wife. Turned off during the commercial breaks. Todd Showalter.
Hey, we're back. I'm Todd Showalter along with my bestest buddy, Joey V. And on the line now is one of our favorite state reps, Joey, Jamie Gragg. How's it going, my friend?
I'm doing fantastic as long as I'm inside.
Yeah, I tell you
It is a little warm today.
We gave Iran a little bit of a beatdown a while back, a few days ago, last week. And you had a few things you were posting. You were talking about, it's kind of common sense, but the way that you put it was well put, about why Iran under any circumstances should ever have nukes. Now, it seems pretty straightforward that Iran should not have nuclear weapons, but you kind of had a great explanation for it. I'm going to jump right into it. Why don't you tell us your theory or your idea,
sure,
reason?
Sure. Growing up, we always knew there was turmoil between, the rest of the world and Iran. I grew up when Ronald Reagan was elected, and all of a sudden they were like, oh, here, have your hostages back. So there's been turmoil with Iran my whole life, I know, and it's been going on longer than that. But, with everything that's going on, I thought, why are they the jerks of the world? Why are they this way? What's the deal? They are a little bitty country that thinks they're the biggest bully in the playground. So what's the deal? So I did a little research and started reading up, listening to some folks who know the lay of the land. Ultimately, it comes back to religion again. Their religion, the radical Islam, their whole belief is that once the final Armageddon of time of the world hits, that's when their savior comes back. And when their savior comes back, they win. Ultimately, the whole thing. And that's why they know they can't win a war barring their savior coming back. So their whole goal is to kick off Armageddon. Yeah. That is really their end game, is to end the world, so they are the ultimate winners. They know they can't win on their own. They need their savior to win.
Yeah, and that seems so. I mean, how do you you can't really negotiate with that. I mean, if your whole plan is like to blow everybody up because that's your religion. I mean, how do you have any type of, I don't know, rational conversation or negotiation with somebody like that?
You really can't. The only way to win that is to discredit their religion, and that's kind of the whole world has been trying to do that with every religion. Really, you've got people that would love to dismantle Christianity. Not going to happen to those who are so devout in their religion that they won't do that. You can't tell me my God does not exist.
Yeah.
But
right.
That'd be like trying to do the same thing to the Muslims.
I noticed recently that you've gotten to enjoy part of my club that I get to deal with every single day, and that's some of these nut job hecklers and things like that to give you a hard time and call you out. I mean, and so is that pretty new to you? I mean, because again, to me, it's like brushing my teeth. I open my emails, it's spewed with hate mail and everything like that. But I mean, you've got a couple of these goofballs trying to give you a hard time now too. Which is that new, or how do you deal with that?
No, that's not new. That actually came from day one. And I think, God set me up pretty good before I got in the legislature, that he taught me the lessons of thickening up my hide a little bit. I can take those people that stab you in the back a little bit, or that they just don't have anything nice to say about you, And so it used to bother me before I got into this realm, but through experiences and learning, it doesn't bother me now. I listen to them because sometimes in their anger there is a nugget of truth of information there that you need to listen to. But no, it's an everyday thing for me. I've been heckled from just down the street, next subdivision over, all the way over to folks from Australia and the UK. I've gotten hate and hate mail to my personal house.
Yeah. I have
from
too.
all over the place. So yeah.
No, it's crazy because I don't know about you at this point, but I mean, I kind of, I don't want to say no, I've won, but the thing is, when it's all the name calling, because I don't know about you, but I'm constantly called these names, like either Nazi, fascist, white supremacist, whatever. It's like they have a scorecard in front of them. Like, I got to check these things off. I mean, and that's pretty much when they start throwing out those terms. I mean, you kind of know that you've won the argument. Not that I'm even arguing with them, but are you in the same boat with that?
Yeah, definitely. When they cannot come up with substantive information and they resort to name calling and belittling, they know they've lost. They've resorted to Plan B.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and I think, that kind of goes along with what we were talking about earlier, just all the divisiveness. You mentioned God, too. Now, I really believe, if we've got to turn back to God. I'm not going to get too religious here or anything like that. But you see Donald Trump doing it, thanking God a lot of time, often now, for a lot of the things that he's doing and what's happening. You obviously do. I do, too. Do you think that's something that, the nation as a whole has to turn to more?
Oh, definitely. It's amazing that after 9/11, going back to that again, you saw that. You saw people going to church. You saw people spending time as a family, people, getting back to where they needed to be. Unfortunately, it was short-lived. But no, I think we do need that. I don't know what it'll take. Will it take a big event? I don't know. Will it take just, finally getting tired of being angry? Hopefully that's all it takes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, we definitely need to.
Yeah, no, I do too, because I think that's, as you said, that's what put you where you are. I think that's pretty much what I took from what you said. And I feel the same way. And I think that, I don't know, that puts your mind at ease, and it also gives you more direction. Well, speaking of your time off here, you've got you've got your break now from the legislature. What do you got going on? Are you going to summer camp or doing anything fun?
Well, I took a little vacation right off the bat. Me and my sons have a little tradition that we have continued. It used to be me and my dad. Now it's me and my sons. We do a annual deep sea fish kill. We go down to Florida. We catch as much as we can get. This year we got a bunch of red snapper and got a couple of sharks. So that was really good.
I saw that. You did get a shark.
Yeah.
I saw that. Yeah. So what kind of shark did you get? What were you using for bait?
We used another fish for that.
Fish?
We caught a piece of what was it, a ladyfish or a bluefish.
Yeah.
Basically cut him in half, rehooked him, threw him out there, let him sit until somebody decided to look yummy, and I reeled him in, and it was a good fight, and we're going to see how he tastes now.
Yeah, I got a little a fishing story. I mean, it's a little, I don't know, I'm not a big fisherman, but I do have some fishing hints that I'm going to share one of my best ones with you. I mean, all that effort and everything that you put in when you go on these deep, sea fishing type thing, they sell those same fish at like Publix, a grocery store or whatever, up the street. Yeah, and you can actually, I'm not kidding you, Jamie. You can actually go in there, and for half the price that you chartered this boat, buy all the same fish right there, and then chill on the beach the rest of the day.
That's right.
Yeah, did you know that?
I did know that.
Oh,
I just love being out there.
I know. I'm joking.
There's an experience. There has been a time where I've gone fishing and I didn't catch anything, and I ended up at those markets. Yeah, so I did not go home empty-handed.
Yeah. Well, I always start at the market. I buy the biggest fish I can, and that way, everybody thinks I'm a great angler. How do you like that?
Get a picture of you, hold it up too. You got to do that.
I do that in the grocery store. In fact, what I do is that they're usually filleted and everything by then. I put it on a hook, and I'm hanging like a big fillet of fish right there, and nobody wants it at that point, and I usually get a good deal on it. Hey, I'm full of tips today. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, you'll go with us next time. How's that?
Oh, because I'm not invited to many things. I'm going to take you up on that if you're serious. There. Okay.
Oh, well, I'll invite anybody to go with us for the experience by any means. Yeah.
Okay.
Next year. Next year.
Okay. People usually only say that once. But hey, speaking of things that only happen once, I'm glad you're on more than once, and I hope you'll join us again soon. Anything you want to leave us with here before I let you go?
I'm just glad that you have your platform going on here. I love coming on. I look forward to more. I want a theme song next time I come back.
You betcha it's going to be a little Bee Gees going on. Joey, what do you think? Out of your Bee Gees catalog over there, he said Staying Alive. You got any other ones you can think of that might be a good one for Jamie? I'm not a big... Oh,
there you go.
He's already got it. This guy is a genius.
He must be good at CPR. He knows you got
to
do it to the beat.
The two songs that are best for CPR, Staying Alive, and you know what the other one is?
What?
It's a Queen song.
A Queen song. We Are the Champions? What?
Another one bites your butt?
Another one bites the dust?
Another one bites the dust.
Another one bites the dust. Well, I kind of we're going to give you the Bee Gees instead. What do you say? I like that.
There you go.
Okay, that's Jamie's new theme song. He'll take that with an order of cashew chicken. We'll be ready to go. Okay?
I appreciate it.
All right, my friend. Thanks for joining us. Jamie Gragg, everybody, and thanks again. We'll talk to you soon. Well, when we come back, we'll see if Dave Wasinger can dig us out of this hole. Maybe he can, maybe he can't, but we'll find out because he's lieutenant governor now. But I want to know if it's what he thought it was wrapped up to be here when we hit the half-a-year point.
He gets to do some cool ceremonial stuff. Like if there is a St. Patrick's Day parade, he'll be the lady in the Corvette who's doing the Queen wave. Hello!
How does he do that, too?
Or if there is a speedboat race down at Lake of the Ozarks, he'll present the trophy to the winner.
Yeah.
And I know he had a program where he was trying to get more Missourians to buy stuff from Missouri.
Like what? What do you like?
Well,
Walnut
Todd
bowls?
Showalter T-shirts, of course, should be on his list.
Well, I see you're wearing the Stay Weird one. The Stay Weird one that you're modeling. I wish everyone could see it. Yeah, and you definitely look like you're staying weird in that shirt.
My favorite thing about the Todd Showalter official T-shirts is that you have a screen-printed patch on the side sleeve, and I constantly think that's dandruff.
It is.
That has fallen off my head.
Well, that's why.
So I look out of the corner of my eye like, what the hell is that? Oh, that's Todd's signature.
Well, I know, and people think that anyway. They think, when they think of me, they think of dandruff.
I'm not brushing you off, baby.
Oh, not? Oh, can we?
We're best friends.
Let's put that on another shirt. I'm not brushing you off, and then you could have an arrow. We could have it pointing to the dandruff that's actually my signature on your left sleeve.
That's got to be a thing, a black T-shirt where it's just a bunch of white speckles along the collar and the sleeve that looks like dandruff.
Well, I'm sure that's a great idea. We'll get on that next. In the meantime, I am Todd Showalter, along with my bestest buddy, Joey V. We're not talking about Mitch today because I'm mad at him. This is The Right Mind Show. We'll be right back.
Coming up next on The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter, the second in command, Lieutenant Governor Dave Wasinger. Welcome back to The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter on News Talk STL. And now a man whose nickname is Richard Branson because he's a billionaire virgin who loves Missouri. Todd Showalter.
And we're back. I'm Todd Showalter, along with my bestest buddy, Joey V. And on the line now is our favorite Lieutenant Governor, Joey. We got Dave Wasinger. How's it going, my friend? How are things? How's it been being Lieutenant Governor?
It's been good. We're in Jeff City today, so we had some meetings. We've got Girl State running around the state capitol today, so it's a few people running around the capitol, but compared to the legislative session, it's pretty quiet.
Yeah, well, I got to tell you, following you on social media, though, it's pretty exhausting. I didn't realize all the events that you go to. I mean, do they have you going to 4 or 5, 6 a day? I mean, when do you get any sleep?
Well, I tell you, Todd, we were up in St. Joseph, Missouri yesterday. I had visited a tour. I handle a lot of tourism issues, and we toured the Pony Express Museum. It was really neat. You meet some neat people traveling around the state. So I enjoy getting out, outside of Jeff City, meeting people throughout the state of Missouri and visiting. And you see sites you really hadn't discovered until you assume this office. So it's great. And then University of Missouri had a reception with the Board of Curators last night in St. Joseph, Missouri. So I went over and visited with a lot of the folks from the University of Missouri. So it was good. We had a good day yesterday, and now we're back in Jeff City today and keeping busy.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it. What, is it everything you thought it would be cracked up to be? I mean, we're here about 5 or 6 months that you've been in office. I mean, are you as excited now? Is it fun? Are you really happy you're the guy?
Yeah, we're having some fun. It's been really, really busy, Todd, for a reason. I walked into Jefferson City. I ran as a conservative outsider to shake things up in Jefferson City. So I was elected in November. Mike Kehoe was the current lieutenant governor. He gavelled the Senate in. I served as president of the Missouri Senate. He gavelled the Senate in on January 8th, and I didn't assume office till January 13th. So this, boat has left the dock by the time I got out of office. Assumed office. So, I'm walking into the state Senate. I've got 34 state senators I got to get to know. We got to decorate the office. I have to hire a staff. So it's been very, very busy for the last, 5 months or so.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, so has the transition gone pretty well, though? I mean, is it? Did you have a big agenda plan that you're is it going to your plan as you thought?
Yeah, we did. I came in as an outsider to want to, I had a lot of support from the grassroots folks. So we came in to kind of shake things up in Jefferson City. We're trying to address get some more of the big conservative legislation across the finish line. We're going to be taking a good hard look at the Senate rules. The Senate has been, frankly, somewhat dysfunctional and over the last few years. And if you look at the Missouri Constitution, Todd, the Missouri Constitution, whether you think it should be in law or not, the marijuana amendment alone, for example, is
right.
longer than the United States Constitution. So that's kind of a sign that, things aren't working well in the Missouri State Legislature, and we need some change. So I ran to bring that change. So we have the Missouri Senate. We've got the tourism issues. We're running around the state, as you've noted, and probably seen on social media that I'm trying to get out. We've got a big boat race at the Lake of the Ozarks taking place on August 23rd and 24th. We just renamed that the Lieutenant Governor's Cup. There'll we're hoping 100,000 people at the Lake of the Ozarks. These boats go over 200 miles an hour. So I invite you and your listeners to go to the Lake of the Ozarks on August 23rd and 24th. I think it'll be a great event.
Wow.
Bring people from throughout the country.
Yeah, that sounds like it. What do you think what's the biggest issue you think Missouri's facing right now?
Again, it's getting these big conservative issues across the finish line. We've got in the urban areas, we've got a lot of public safety issues, with the crime in St. Louis and Kansas City, and they're going to go Joplin and Springfield. They all have crime issues. If you don't feel safe, you're not going to go out. You're not going to want to live here. Tourists aren't going to visit. So public safety is certainly a big issue. We need to look at our tax structure. We've got, I think, onerous taxes, whether it's personal property taxes, these real estate taxes. I don't know if you've gotten your assessment if you own a home.
Yeah, crazy.
You got your assessments, it's out of hand. I mean, it's crazy the amount of the property tax assessments. So we need to look at the tax structure in Missouri. As you may know, in a prior life, I passed the CPA exam. So I'm an accounting major from the University of Missouri. So I'm very familiar with the tax issues and the issues that need to be addressed in Missouri. So that would be a big item. We need to address the entire tax structure in the state of Missouri. I think we need to take a good hard look at it.
Yeah. Do you think we'll ever get to the point where some of those taxes are eliminated?
Yeah, we need to, for example, Mississippi, I believe, just eliminated the income tax.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the high growth states, Florida, Tennessee, Texas, they all seem to have a common denominator, and that's no income tax.
Right.
So we need to follow suit and begin, again, to look at the entire tax structure. People are very upset about personal property. I don't like, it inhibits your desire to buy a new car because you're going to have to pay personal property tax on it. So
right.
There's a lot of disincentives in Missouri under the current tax structure in terms of getting the state moving forward and the growth that we need.
Yeah, and I think also, and people say, well, if we do that, where's the money going to come from? But I got to tell you, you have outside groups and corporations and people as a whole. That's an incentive to move here. So you're going to be building things, and that's going to boost the economy more than anything, rather than having your neighbors pay their personal property tax. Don't you think?
Absolutely. Yeah, all you have to do, it's working in Florida. People are flooding to Florida, Texas. If you go down to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, it's booming. Tennessee, Nashville is booming. They don't have any income tax, and they're getting it done. So we don't need to reinvent the wheel. We need to, look at some of these other states. Mississippi just eliminated their income tax, as I mentioned. So, people are getting in front of it. We need to move Missouri forward and get these big conservative issues across the finish line.
Yeah, I agree. Well, as far as you mentioned the crime stuff, especially here in St. Louis, and as you mentioned, your tourism, that's one of the things that you handle. We have people that still won't, at least I know, that won't go downtown just based on the crime. We got the new thing with the state took over the police board here in St. Louis. How involved you are with that, and do you think that's really going to be effective?
Well, I think we're trying to get out in front of some of this crime. I think the biggest development in the city of St. Louis is getting a new mayor. We have a new mayor, that's Kara Spencer, who I think is a step up from what we've had in the last few years. So I think this Kara Spencer, she's probably a little more progressive liberal than I am, but I think she's a step up from what we had, and she seems to have a lot of energy. So getting the right people in place in these leadership positions, getting a new prosecutor in with this Gabe Gore. We have a new prosecutor in St. Louis County. So getting the right people in place, I think, is the key to solving a lot of these problems. And I think here in the last couple of years, we're starting to do that. Yeah,
and you even look at what's going on now with, I don't know if you're following, like our sheriff here in Montgomery. He's Andrew Bailey came in, and basically the guy won't leave. I think one of the problems that you have, and again, this is all just based on my opinion, but it just seems there's a lot of corruption that needs to be gotten rid of. When you get the right people in, as you mentioned, I think then that's going to take care of the crime, and it looks to be like a work in progress. I just didn't know if getting the state involved was going to be a big issue in that.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's a silver bullet. I think it's getting the right people in place. With the new mayor, the new prosecuting attorney, both in the city and the county, I think is a big step forward. The new sheriff of St. Louis City is a good example of maybe not putting the right person in the right job. That young man, did you realize he's only 28 years old?
Mm-hmm.
And, he may be in a little bit over his head on the thing, and maybe he'll sort it out. But you did see where our Attorney General Andrew Bailey has sought to remove him from office.
Yeah.
To try to get somebody in there that is maybe a little more seasoned and a little more mature and maybe do a little bit better job.
Well, what are some of the things you're hoping for? I mean, in the upcoming sessions, as we move forward here, especially with your term, what types of things do you want to see addressed and, I don't know, hopefully accomplished in the next couple of years?
So we start, the legislature goes from January through May. This year we had what I call not so special session, where we tacked on a lot of the some taxes and other issues. Some of it was good. We got some funding for these tornado victims in St. Louis. And then there'll be a veto session in September. So we'll have to analyze some of these what I perceive as pork barrel projects. So we'll be taking a look at the budget, maybe coming out and asking Governor Kehoe to address some of those issues. And then we're going to dial in the fall and try to get these Senate rules addressed so we can get these big, what you and I just talked about, these tax reform issues, these crime issues addressed through the state legislature. And that'll boost tourism. That'll help our great seniors. We're trying to fight for our great seniors. We're actually working with the Trump administration on that to try to get seniors that have been disabled, veterans that have been disabled in some of these foreign wars, to get them the compensation they're entitled to. So there's a lot on our plate in the lieutenant governor's office. Yeah,
well, it seems like, again, you've done a lot. What do you think? I mean, just going back over the last few months, you've done a lot of stuff. You've traveled around to a lot of places. What's been the highlight so far? The coolest thing that you've done so far, Dave? What is it?
The coolest thing that has happened to me, Todd, I'm a native of Hannibal, Missouri.
Right.
So I was born and raised in Hannibal, went to Hannibal High School. I am the first elected official in the history of the state of Missouri from Hannibal, Missouri. Can you believe it?
Wow.
And they gave me the key to the city. They awarded me the key to the city a few weeks ago. That was probably the highlight of my tenure so far as lieutenant governor. I thought my mother was really proud of me. So that's one of the things that made me proud. So getting a key to my hometown, a city of Hannibal, because I'm the first statewide elected official ever from Hannibal, was pretty special.
So you think we can finally get rid of all that Mark Twain stuff, and it could just be like, everybody knows that because of Dave now?
I don't know. I'm giving there's a gentleman that wrote a book about Mark Twain. He's going to be up at the University of Missouri St. Louis on Saturday. I'm going to be introducing him. A guy named Ron Chernow. He just wrote a best-selling book about Mark Twain, so I'm going to see him. So I think Mark Twain may be a little more better known than your Lieutenant Governor David Wasinger, but we'll still have fun. It's good company with Mark Twain, and again, I was very, very proud of and honored to receive that award.
Well, yeah, it's only been a few months, Dave. I mean, give it time. Plus, if you start wearing a white suit, start wearing a white suit and grow a mustache and stuff like that, that could be your whole brand, and say don't need Mark.
I need your help, and we need to get our message out. So, again, I can't thank you enough for your past support and your having me on your show. So we need to get our message out. But we're fighting a good fight. Again, we're fighting for the, as I described, the forgotten man and woman in Missouri. We're not fighting for the lobbyists and special interests. So we're fighting for the forgotten men and women in Missouri. So we hope to accomplish that before I get done with this.
I'm sure you will. And you have our support. And if there's anything we can ever do aside from cutting the grass in this heat, just let me know, okay?
Okay. Always a pleasure, Todd. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, thank you, Dave. We'll talk to you soon. Enjoy that giant boat race. Okay. Thanks,
all right.
Dave.
I'll do it. All right. Hope you're able to make it. All right. Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Do you know what we should do?
What?
We should get something built here in St. Louis, similar to what they're trying to do in Florida. They're trying to build an Alcatraz with alligators.
Oh, I like that.
And I think the whole point of that is by going to the game plan of Alcatraz in San Francisco.
Yeah,
You know, there are a bunch of murderers there, but eventually became a very profitable museum.
Yeah, it did.
So what they're doing in Florida is they're trying to build in the Everglades a little illegal immigrant detention facility, just temporarily, but eventually, once, all the illegals are gone, I guess, according to Trump, then it becomes a museum for alligators, and people will come and they'll spend money to see if they can dodge pythons and see if they can put their hand inside the mouth of an alligator without getting bit.
So they're actually doing this? They're going to build something? It's going to be a prison in Florida with alligators?
The Attorney General is taking this idea of using an old airport in Florida. It's about 40 miles south of Miami.
Yeah.
And just putting up tents, like that beautiful restaurant that we went to at the horse track in Fairmont.
Tent City.
Putting up a tent city to take all the illegals and round them up, and then they don't have to have guards because they'll just be surrounded by alligators and pythons.
Yeah, right.
And mosquitoes.
Right.
But I don't think he knows that you got to have people working there to lock the thing, right?
How do you lock a tent?
I don't know, but the people who are actually working there, ICE, they're going to be really hot, and then they too have to get bit by mosquitoes.
And
I don't think anyone's going to watch over these illegal immigrants.
This sounds like a terrible idea.
I think they're going to turn it into a reality show where they just drop them and plop them with a helicopter in the middle of the Everglades here. Under the tent, they can hide from the sun, but to get out, they just got to fight their way out, and then they'll film that with GoPros and then eventually upload that to Fox News or something.
What a great idea. That's almost as good as your Google shtick.
Well,
Not too bad.
You were talking about tourist stuff with Dave Wasinger. Like they have Mark Twain's boyhood home.
That's right.
They let you go paint a fence. You pay money to go paint a fence and do the upkeep.
I do that with
there.
my lawn. I say to let people pay me to cut my grass. Right. Go ahead, though.
So we got to have another tourist destination here around St. Louis. I always wanted to go to KC, Illinois.
KC, Illinois.
KC, Illinois has the world's biggest bunch of crap.
Bunch of crap?
They have the world's largest wind chimes, the rocking chair,
Oh,
clogs, key fob.
Right.
And I think we need something like that in St. Louis. So.
Well, we have walnut bowls. Have you ever gone down 70, Highway 70? I try to avoid it if I can, but it's like make sure you stop to our walnut bowl outlet. What in the hell is a walnut bowl? Do they grow like walnut bowls?
And they're not selling because it's an outlet.
Is it right? A walnut bowl outlet. And they're right next to those jungle law like billboards and stuff. And I'm thinking, what is a walnut bowl? What is a walnut
Billboards do
bowl?
get changed out frequently.
Joey, hey, pull over the car. They're selling walnut bowls.
Don't give directions based on billboards. It's right next to the Onder Law billboard. All right, well, there's 100 of them, but
that's exactly
I don't know
right.
which one.
Are they little walnuts that they're bowls? Or I don't get it.
I think it's a drug paraphernalia thing where you a dugout bowl, you put your weeds in there and you crunch it up so they're tiny little buds that you can smoke. But our alligator Alcatraz of St. Louis, I think, definitely needs to be next to the Uranus Fudge Factory on 44. Because
that is a good one, by the way.
if you poop your pants
have you
and
ever
make it out of the Alcatraz, go to the Uranus Fudge Factory.
I tried to get them as a sponsor. I really did. And have you ever been there? This is a brilliant idea because basically it was like a nothing little town in Missouri. I should have asked Dave about that. Has he ever been to Uranus? And so you just go to Uranus and they have the fudge factory. Have you been there? And they said, we will pack your fudge here in Uranus. It's and I have a T-shirt. They have a whole bunch of merch that they're really doing well. And it was just somebody's idea. It's like something you and I would do. Maybe we should do something like that. You think we can buy a town and name it something with some, we could sell merch after?
Of course. And it does seem like if you worked there, there'd be a few jokes that you'd get real tired of hearing.
Oh, sure.
Someone like you would run in like, do you have a bathroom? And they'd say, it's in the back, obviously.
Back by Uranus.
The Uranus Fudge Factory is a chain.
A chain of fudge.
Yeah, there's some in Indiana.
Is that a Uranus chain?
Yeah, there's a Uranus chain. There's one in, Anderson, Indiana. There's one.
Get out of here. So it's everywhere?
St. Robert, Missouri is where ours is at. So I like you, thought they changed the whole town to Uranus.
Who came up with that?
But no, it's in St. Robert.
Can you imagine the guy? Okay, get this. Let's do a little astronomy here because I'm a big astronomy buff. I'm a Virgo, okay? Sometime I'm a Leo. No, you have you have Mercury, Venus, Earth, Saturn, all those. Can you imagine when they're naming the planets, the guy that said, hey, I know, let's call this one Uranus. You don't think he knew what that meant?
I don't think he named it recently.
No, but seriously, come on. Uranus. Everybody knows what he meant. And he obviously wasn't an astrologer. Yeah. Wow. You had a good time today.
The planet Uranus
was
was named after the Greek god of the sky, Uranus.
So there's a god in the sky called
So who named
Anus?
the god that first?
It's
That
like
guy's a freak.
By a butt in the sky. That's what it. I know all my Greek mythology because I studied astrology, and so there's a giant butt god for what the Greeks had. Is that what you're saying? Named Uranus?
Booty in the sky with diamonds.
Booty in the sky with diamonds. That's like an Elton John. Oh,
Beatles. Why would you say Elton John?
don't know.
How dare you?
I just think I don't know why I said that. I'm all confused.
When you think about stuff, you think of Elton John.
Well, you said Uranus.
I know.
I'm going down the wrong path.
The wrong hole.
Wrong hole on that one, I tell you. Would you have a good time today?
Is it over already?
No, it's not over. Let's keep going. What do you want to talk about?
Oh,
now?
no, I didn't have that part figured out.
They don't know what the they're doing. Do you understand that?
There it is. Hey, I'm going to ask you like one more time. Did you have a good time today?
Wonderful time.
Hey,
Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here. Well, you know what I always say before we get out of here, though, don't you?
Huh?
If you don't have a right mind, you don't have a mind at all. Until next time, I'm Todd Showalter, along with my bestest buddy in the whole world, Joey V. Mitch, who we're totally ignoring. This is The Right Mind Show. Till next time, bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter. To find out about all things Todd, go to toddsprod.com. We will see you next Saturday night at 5 p.m. and Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. right here on 101.9, 94.1 News Talk STL, and always streaming online at newstalkstl.com.